Yo, what's up guys? Before I get into this video, make sure you guys go watch my past 2 videos. I put a bunch of Bulls news in there and you guys definitely should check that out. But yeah, I'm gonna throw up this picture real quick and just look at that. Everyone is an all-star but Zach LaVine. And that's just sad. I saw that on Instagram today and I just thought I'd share that with you guys. It's super sad and disrespectful that Zach LaVine did not make the all-star team, especially because it's in Chicago and he's been carrying us all season long. But yeah, let's get right into today's video. As most of you probably know, the NBA trade deadline's coming up. It is this Thursday, February 6th at 3 p.m. And honestly, I do believe the Chicago Bulls are going to make a move. I don't know how big it is, but I feel like we will trade someone. This season has been a complete disappointment. It's been a big letdown. You know, we were supposed to be the 8th seed, or even better, honestly. I mean, we still could, which is sad to say because the East is so bad. But I do believe the Bulls will make a trade. And Bleacher Report put out this article about like every team's top trade targets. So I'm just going to give my opinion and go through who they thought the Chicago Bulls would maybe trade for. But before I get into that, there's been a lot of rumors about Derrick Rose getting traded and D'Lo. And honestly, the Chicago Bulls season has been a mess. You know, Zach LaVine has had no help all season long. The Bulls need to make a trade. And I know the Chicago Bulls really don't make big trades ever, but the time is now. We have a talented squad. They're just all hurt right now. Our coach is terrible. And I saw this trade for Derrick Rose. And the trade is pretty simple. It's Felicio and our first round pick this year for Derrick Rose. You know, the Timberwolves said they wanted a first round pick for Rose. And honestly, I do this trade just because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of Zach LaVine. I don't know how he sticks with the Bulls, honestly. Like in my last video, he was super frustrated with Jim Boylan calling a timeout, down like 30 with a minute left. And I'm surprised this man doesn't want to get out of here or like request a trade. So we need to get him some help before he wants to leave. Because I know Zach likes Chicago and wants to win in Chicago, but he's been in the NBA for like 3 to 4 years now, and he's been on nothing but losing teams. I mean, I'd get sick of it. I know he is. So say the Bulls trade for Rose, we'd probably be the 7th or 8th seed then. And our draft pick would be like, I'd say the 14th or 15th in the draft. So it's nothing too special. So make sure you guys leave some comments below if you trade our, like, say, 14th, 15th pick for Derrick Rose and clearing Felicio's contract. But yeah, there's also been a lot of rumors about D'Lo getting traded. And honestly, I just say, screw it. The Bulls need to get LaVine some help. And D'Lo's a superstar. And Golden State wants to trade him. I know Minnesota really wants him. So I don't even care if the Bulls like don't trade for him, but they should at least try, you know? Because the Bulls have a lot of draft picks, young players that we could trade for a superstar. At least we should try. I mean, it can't hurt to try. The worst they can tell us is no, so we might as well try and get a superstar to help LaVine. But yeah, now onto this article that Bleacher Report wrote. There's 5 potential trade targets that they said the Bulls should target, and the first one is Robert Covington. You know, honestly, I like Robert Covington. He's a good veteran. He's a good 3-and-D type guy. But I saw Minnesota wants like 2 first-round picks for him, and that's just crazy talk. I don't believe any team's going to trade that unless a contender really likes him and wants to overpay for him for the playoffs. But I just don't see the Bulls trading 2 first-round picks for just a veteran that can just is solid, a 3-and-D type player. Nothing too special. I mean, first-round picks, you know, that has a lot of value, and I wouldn't trade 2 for Robert Covington. And the second player they want us to trade for is Marcus Morris. Honestly, I'd be fine with this. I mean, he's very talented. He's been playing really good on the Knicks. I mean, it's the Knicks though, so how good can he really be? But he's definitely been balling out on the New York Knicks this year. I mean, he could either start for us at small forward because we've had so many injuries, or be our 6th man off the bench. You know, he's really good on defense. He's a really solid scorer. So it wouldn't hurt to do this, but at the same time, I don't know their asking price for him. And honestly, during the All-Star weekend, most of the Chicago Bulls players are finally coming back from injury. So I couldn't see that happening. And the third player they want us to target is Davis Bertans. I don't know if I said that name right. I'm sorry. He plays for Washington. I know he destroyed us a few times this season. He's a great 3-point shooter. And honestly, the Wizards are just a terrible team. And I'm sure they're just going to try and trade players for like 2nd-round picks or just draft picks. So if the Bulls could get him for like a 2nd-round pick, I'd do that in a heartbeat. He's a great three-point shooter, like I've been saying. So he definitely helped the Bulls in our terrible offense at times. And their fourth player is Malachi Beasley. And honestly, I do this trade in a heartbeat. I don't know their asking price for him either, but I definitely try and get him. You know, he really doesn't play on the Nuggets that much, but he is a walking bucket. He is a scoring machine. And like I said, Zach LaVine needs help. It's getting ridiculous, man. And the fifth player is also another New York Knick, Elfrid Payton. And I don't see us trading for him. Our point guard position is kind of a mess. If we trade for a new point guard, I feel like it's going to be a superstar, like for Derrick Rose or someone, not a, just solid backup. I know Elfrid Payton's not really a good three-point shooter either, so that wouldn't help our offense at all. But yeah, I know his asking price is going to be pretty high too, because he's been actually playing really solid for the Knicks. And honestly, those are the 5 players that they said that we should target. And honestly, the only one that I'd really want us to get is Davis for cheap if we could, just because he's a good three-point shooter. He could play the 3 and 4 position, and like I said, he'd help space the floor and help out Zach LaVine. But at the same time, I can and can't see the Bulls making some trades this trade deadline. I mean, the Bulls are literally paper thin. Everyone's hurt. Otto Porter Jr. is hurt. Wendell Carter Jr., Daniel Gafford. The list just keeps going on and on. Kris Dunn recently got hurt as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Bulls just stayed still at this deadline. But at the same time, I really want us to trade Thad Young. I like Thad Young. I like the signing in the offseason, but he just hasn't really fit with us. And honestly, he's like a 13-year NBA veteran. I'm sure he wants to be on a better team than the Bulls and try and win a championship before he retires. So I really hope we trade him to the Clippers, because I know they're super interested in him. I mean, they sent scouts to come watch us and him play. So just a straight up deal for Thad Young for Maurice Harkless on the Clippers would make me happy, honestly. Thad Young just hasn't fit with us, and the Bulls would get a solid small forward that's a pretty good 3-and-D type player, and he'd be on an expiring deal, so the Bulls would have more money this offseason. So honestly, I expect just a simple swap or a little trade like that to happen. But who knows? I mean, the Bulls have been bad for a while. I mean, the front office knows they're on the hot seat. Maybe they make a big trade, but I doubt it. And the only other Chicago Bulls player that I could see getting traded is Denzel Valentine. I've always been high on Denzel. He has a high IQ. He's one of the Bulls' best passers in my eyes, but he's been in Jim Boylan's doghouse all season long. And it's honestly sad, because Denzel Valentine was technically a lottery pick. I'm pretty sure the Bulls drafted him with the 14th overall pick. He came from a winning college. Anytime he's on the floor, I feel like the Bulls play well. He spaces the floor. He's a good quality three-point shooter. And he still has a little bit of value. I mean, he's still kind of young, so I hate to say this, but I hope the Bulls trade him, give him an opportunity and chance to play on maybe a better winning team than just sitting on the Bulls bench and not playing at all, and then playing 20 minutes some nights and then coming back and playing none. It's ridiculous, man. It's honestly sad what Jim Boylan is doing to these players. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if the Bulls traded him or Thad Young. Those are probably the only 2 Bulls that I could see getting traded. But hey, who knows? The trade deadline is wild, and the NBA is a business. But yeah, the trade deadline is always a fun time. I'll definitely be making a video during the trade deadline if the Bulls make any moves or anything, so stay tuned for that as well. Thank you guys for watching this video. Have a good one.